Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, if you sell toys anywhere in the European Union, listen up. The rulebook you've been following, it's about to be completely rewritten. We're talking about a huge new regulation that's going to touch everything, from your supply chain all the way to your online store listings. So today, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know and, more importantly, what you need to do to get ready.
And look, this is not just about some new paperwork or annoying red tape. This is about your fundamental ability to do business in one of the biggest markets on the planet. So let's not waste any time. We're going to jump straight into what's changing and lay out an action plan you can start working on, well, today.
All right, so what is this all about? The European Union has just given the green light to the new Toy Safety Regulation, or TSR for short. And let me be clear, this is not some minor tweak. We're talking about the single biggest overhaul to toy safety rules in more than a decade. It's going to fundamentally change how every single toy is designed, how it's tested, and how it's sold across the entire EU.
Okay, so why are we talking about this now? I know what you're thinking. A deadline years away feels like a problem for another day, right? It's so tempting to just push it to the back of your mind. But honestly, with this regulation, waiting is probably the single biggest risk your business could take.
Right. The final hard deadline is April 2030. That sounds like a long way off. But you've got to think about the big players, the online marketplaces where you actually sell your products. Think Amazon, for example. Do you really think they're going to wait until the last minute? No way. They're going to start demanding updated documents and proof you're compliant way before that final date, because they need to cover themselves.
And if you're not ready when they ask, well, that's where things get painful. We're talking about massive supply chain disruptions. You could be facing super expensive last-minute product redesigns. You could have products literally blocked from being sold, or see your online listings just vanish overnight. To put it simply, not acting now could mean you're shut out of the EU market completely.
So how do you avoid that nightmare scenario? You've got to understand exactly what's changing. We've gone through the whole regulation and boiled it down to the 4 biggest, most critical changes. These are the things that are going to impact every single part of your business, from how you source materials to how you market online. Let's dig into the first one.
First up, and this is a really big one, chemical restrictions are getting much stricter. The TSR is massively expanding the list of chemicals that are either totally banned or heavily restricted in toys. Basically, the EU is cracking down hard on anything considered hazardous to better protect kids.
And here are just some of the substances now in the spotlight. You're talking about things like endocrine disruptors, those infamous forever chemicals called PFAS, and a whole host of skin and respiratory sensitizers. They're also targeting certain bisphenols and fragrance allergens. The bottom line is, if any of your products use materials containing these, you need to start looking at your formulas and your suppliers like yesterday.
Okay, change number 2. The days of saying, oh, it's just a simple wooden block, it's obviously safe, are officially over. Now every single toy, and I mean every toy, even the most basic ones with no electronics at all, has to go through a full, comprehensive safety assessment before it can even touch the EU market.
And when they say full assessment, they mean it. You have to cover everything. Chemical safety, of course, but also mechanical and physical properties, electrical and fire safety, even hygiene and radioactivity. And here's a huge new one for anyone making smart toys, digital functions. That means proving your toy is safe from a cybersecurity, data, and privacy standpoint. All of this has to be proven before a single unit is sold.
The third massive change is something called the Digital Product Passport, or DPP. You can think of it like a digital ID card for every single toy. This is completely replacing the old paper-based declaration of conformity. It's going to be a digital file that anyone can access just by scanning a QR code, and it will contain all the safety data, all the material info, all the compliance documents, everything, all in one place.
And finally, number 4. This whole responsibility for compliance, it's no longer just on the manufacturer. The new rules extend all the way to the point of sale, placing direct obligations on you as an online seller and on the marketplaces themselves. Yep, the platforms you sell on are now on the hook too.
So what does that actually mean for you? It means your online product listings need a serious update. You're going to have to clearly display the CE mark and any relevant safety warnings right there on the page. You'll also need to give customers a way to access that digital product passport we just talked about. And here's the kicker. If your listing doesn't meet these new rules, the marketplace is now legally required to remove it, period.
Okay, so that's a lot to take in. You're probably wondering, how is this all going to roll out? The most important thing to understand is that this isn't about one single deadline in 2030.
You have to think of it as a multi-year process that, frankly, needs to start right now. Let's take a look at the timeline. So, over the next year or two, from 2025 to 2026, you'll see the authorities gearing up. For you, this is the time to start reviewing your entire product portfolio. Then comes the really critical window, 2026 to 2029. This is your main preparation phase. It's when you have to get all that work done, auditing materials, retesting everything, and building out your systems for the digital product passport. All of that work leads up to that final deadline in April 2030 when these new rules become the law of the land. All right, we've talked a lot about the challenges, so let's shift gears and talk about the solution. It's time for a clear, actionable plan. And listen, the goal here is not to cause a panic. It's about being smart and preparing methodically so you're not caught off guard.
Here it is, 4 simple steps you can start working on today. First, audit. You need to go through your entire supply chain and reevaluate all your materials and suppliers for those new banned chemicals we talked about. Second, schedule. Get your products booked in for retesting under these much stricter safety assessment rules. Third, build. Start creating a system that can generate and manage a digital product passport for every single item you sell. And fourth, update. Make a concrete plan to revise all your online listings to include the CE mark, the warnings, and that access to the DPP.
And I just want to circle back to this date one more time. April 2030. Mark it down. This is the final absolute deadline. It's the day the old rules are thrown out and this new toy safety regulation becomes the only standard for selling toys in the EU. There won't be any extensions. This is it.
So really, the main takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. Getting ready for this isn't just about ticking some box on a compliance form. It's about protecting your business from real, painful, and very expensive problems down the line. It's about making sure you can keep your place in one of the biggest, most lucrative markets in the world.
So, I'll leave you with this question. The businesses that start now, the ones auditing materials, updating their testing, building their new systems early, they're going to have a smooth transition. But the ones who wait, they're going to be scrambling, facing a crisis. So think about it this way. Getting ahead of this regulation isn't just a defensive move to protect what you have. It's a massive competitive advantage.